I don't know about you, but in my practice, I find some of my colleagues that are facing real problems, even suicide attempts. Yeah. So that's why I asked myself, what's the problem? Are we a risk population of having a bad quality of life? And perhaps at the end, the quality of life is more important than life itself. And having a good quality of life will lead to an optimal patient care. We, as pediatric surgeons, we have specific challenges if you compare to other specialties. First of all, the emotional burden of working with children. All how it's painful to lose a children, And also, we do need constant communication with often anxious family. And the pediatric population is a high demanding population. A simple hand wash can have harmful repercussions. Also, you should know that the impact of the quality of life will influence your personal well-being, your professional performance, but more than this, it can influence the whole economic system, and you can set the absenteeism rate as example. Factors that can contribute to the quality of life of pediatric surgeons include work-life balance. This is very important. The emotional support and the workload management. If you see in the literature, we are really lacking studies dealing about us, about pediatric surgeons. So that's why we try to analyze the various dimensions of the quality of life in this sector, and we choose a short form called SF36 Health Survey, which is a survey that is popular. It was used for clinical practice and research, health policy evaluation, general population surveys, and it's really simple and practical. This survey includes 36 items. That's why it's called SF36, across 8 dimensions of health, 4 for the physical health and 4 for the mental health. So how we conducted this study, it was a descriptive observational study. So the questionnaire was sent via email, social network with 2 versions, English and French, and the anonymity was guaranteed. So a total of 57 questions with 6 that were optional. So we conducted the general information, of course, the SF36 scale. 66.7 was the value that defines if there is an alteration of one dimension or the global score. We use it as PSS 26. And the quantitative variables were analyzed with the Q-Scores test and the quantitative with the Mann-Whitney tests. So what about the results? So 178 pediatric surgeons responded to this questionnaire with a mean age of seniority of 10 years. We had 93 males, 85 female with a median age of 41, 127 were married, 44 single, and 7 divorced. The average number of children was 2 years. 33 declared to have somatic comorbidities, mainly cardiovascular disease and diabetes, and 12 had psychiatric comorbidities, and 21 addictive behaviors, including smoking and social network and TV. 151 were working in the public facility, the other in the private. The average number of working hours was 48 hours. 101 were practicing sports or either leisures with an average hours spent per week of 3 hours. So now what about the result? Regarding the global score, 40% have a worse quality of life, a bad quality of life, 40%, this is huge. And if you see in detail, 50% for the mental health have a bad quality of life, 50%. And you see in each dimension, so the mental health is mainly affected. We tried to see if there is any risk factor. It was obvious. Female have a bad quality of life. You will tell me that female are always complaining. No, I think this is more a problem of work-life balance.
Bulgaria is the opposite.
Women are strong in Bulgaria. So now if you see for the marital status, it's not a problem if you are single or married. It's not a problem for the quality of life. Here, you know, when I was children, always we are telling us that money don't buy happiness, you know. But is it so true here? If you see here, the person that declared to have a high quality of life have a good quality of life. To have, a high socioeconomic status have a good quality of life, and perhaps in the same spirit, those that are working in the private activity have a better quality of life for those that were working in the public facilities. So there is no difference if you have somatic comorbidities or not, but there is difference if you have psychiatric comorbidities, same for the addictive behaviors. And those who declare to have integration problem have worse quality of life, have a bad quality of life. This is not a secret. If you are practicing leisure activities, you have a better quality of life. In the same vision for seniority, older you are, worse quality of life you have. And this is proved for the physical health score and for the mental score. So we reported the status, and we are trying now to think perhaps about solutions. So let's begin by the emotional toll that is very important. As you know, we as pediatric surgeons, we have deep emotional bonds, and this will lead to emotional exhaustion. Mainly because we are working with vulnerable population, and this is emotionally draining. So that's why we are proposing to have support families, this is very important, and professional detachment. Always in the emotional and psychological support, it's very important to create support group, to have counseling services and debriefing session. We should create, a supportive environment in which we can express concerns and we have better communication, and in which we should favorize team building. The workload management also is a critical issue because we have long hours of work, high patient loads, and an environment in which we should have a rapid decision making. So here also we should work on adequate staffing, should work as a group with solidarity, this is very important, optimizing work schedules, and give opportunities for rest and recovery. Finally, the work-life balance is also crucial. I think this is the bigger matter for female, So here also we should work on flexible work arrangement, the mental health support services, and always taking breaks and using vacation time. So to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, for pediatric health care providers and particularly pediatric surgeons, we have significant challenges, and we should adapt strategies, particularly focusing on risk population, females, old seniors, by creating supportive, sustainable work environment, because at the end, well-being of healthcare provider will give us better services and less expenses. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Professor.